zip through real quick to do the formalities that we have to do. Chris Suter, and I am the chair.
Julie Gilman, Select Board Rep.
Jerry Hamill, member.
And Mark Furlong, member.
All right, now, I believe the meeting minutes were sent out, that were taken.
Yeah.
I know they were sent in.
I didn't get any.
I didn't either, so that's why I was wondering if, like,
Yeah, I tried to look today quick and I didn't see them. Let me look again.
yeah, because Jeannie took notes, and then Pam reached out to me, asked if she was going to be submitting them or if she was doing them, and there was Jeannie, she said yes, and she sent them in to Pam. And I guess they just didn't get sent to us. So I guess we're going to have to review them at the next meeting.
I'll make a motion then that we'll do the minutes at the next meeting.
Yep.
Second.
Hopefully that's- All right. All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, so. I'm sorry, I really had to get up, see my brother. Surprise. Didn't tell me he was having surgery. I found out. But he's good, which is great.
Well, that's good.
Yes, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I didn't realize how Maine Medical was such a big facility, and they just keep growing. Could not find my way out. I knew I wouldn't be able to. And I stopped and I asked a couple times. It's just amazing.
Where's the door?
Yeah, it's in the parking garage. And then I had to find my car. Okay, so the veterans tax credits, we had talked about this, as we were talking about other issues. And so I don't know if there's a way, if you guys thought about how you'd like to attack this, because it's not just one.
Yeah, I think there's a number of different issues.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the optional tax credit of one of the things we need to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 500 right now, and it can go up to 750. And then there's the all veterans, which we don't have.
Right.
And then there's the new one that just got passed. Janet had emailed us on.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that one is,
I read it, and I'm trying to remember exactly what I read.
I
I mean, it's
believe,
optional.
I believe when they passed it, I thought they said 30 days, which was going to be middle of July. Was it gonna,
For paying it or for?
for the adoption?
Oh.
no, this is the.
I was kind of hoping you'd give us some information.
Yeah, well, again, once it leaves the House and goes to the Senate, whatever happens to it there is whatever
Yeah.
happens to it there.
Yeah.
It's effective, July 13th, so yesterday. or-
Oh, a couple days ago, Sunday.
A couple of days ago, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't print anything out on that one, so.
Yeah, I just remember in the email, I was talking about if if you're gonna do it, then just combine the two different credits, the amounts for the folks that would qualify.
If I understand this correctly, you don't add them together. It's, you get the, whatever we vote for, $701 or up to
Right.
5,000. But it replaces all the other optional tax credits. That's my understanding of how it reads.
Yeah, but did you see the email that he sent?
Or Janet said it was an add-on.
Well, I think wasn't the email just on disabled?
Yes, it was all about the
It's
disabled.
all-
No, not disabled, excuse me, no.
Yeah, because there's.
But it was veterans.
Yeah, but we got a disabled veterans, and then we have the veterans too. We have two separate ones.
But there was
And she did say that if we
Yeah.
did,
a new law that was passed relative to disabled veterans.
All right,
Yeah, the one that just passed
got
is
service connected.
service-connected, permanent and total disability, and that's described elsewhere.
Excuse me, House Bill 99 amends, blah, blah, regarding the amount of tax credit for service-connected permanent and total disability upon adoption by the community can now be up to $5,000.
Yes.
It's a big jump. The optional tax credit for service-connected disability shall replace other tax veteran credits in its entirety and may not be in addition to.
Right.
This is where I got confused because that makes sense, right? And he says, as this is the case, if the community would like for those service-connected disabled veterans who are also receiving the regular veterans tax credit to continue to receive the same amount of a total tax credit, I would suggest that the service-connected amount be changed from its present amount to include what the regular tax credit amount is during the next town meeting cycle. So they need to give an example, which example, service-connected disabled veteran tax credit, let's say it's 2,000, because it can be up to 5, they don't have to do 5. Regular veteran tax credit, 500. Therefore, revise the service-connected disability veteran tax credit to 2,500. So this way, if we adopt 2,500 versus 2,000, like let's say we wanted to do 2,000, but then they can no longer get the regular veterans tax credit, but we wanted them to get that. So we would ask to adopt 2,500. So that was.
Yeah, it's currently 2,000.
Right. But
Is
today,
it?
yeah, it's 2,000
Oh, I'm
right
sorry.
now. And actually, there's more people on it than I thought there
Well,
would.
They can have a different one.
36.
Yeah.
It all depends on the description of the disability. Total disability, have you been in active service, like in a conflict? 7228.
Okay, because right now we have on the veterans tax credit is 465. And then on the, let's see, total disability is 36, like Mike just said. And all veterans, we don't have that right now, so. And then the other thing that didn't have surviving spouses, we don't have anything on that as well. That's on last year's MS1, which is actually went up a couple from the year before. It was probably, I think there was a total of 501 recipients versus 483 and
Yeah, I have the latest,
23.
I'm looking at the latest data from DRA, which is 2024.
yeah, that's with the MS
We should
one.
match that.
Yeah, that's what I have on that. So I mean, so I can see what she's saying, and that's what I'm assuming, and I didn't know if they get the total disability, like say the 2,000, if they get the 500 on top. It's a question I had for Janet, I do not know.
I think that's what you just read, is it
Yeah, so they would,
You
it
want to
would,
combine them.
one or the other?
yeah, you can't have,
Both of them.
can't layer them, so the only way for us to give them that amount would be to,
That seems fair.
adopt.
I mean,
Well, I disagree. Because I reference other RSAs, and like the end of 7228B provides, however, that the person is not eligible for and not receiving any credit under 7228, which is all of the other ones.
The standard and optional, yeah.
So that's the all veterans tax credit, so everybody can get the, whatever we define it to be. So that's all that's my understanding of 7228 optional tax credit is replaced by the new optional tax credit for combat service. So the one that's just the flat 500 or whatever we're giving.
Yeah, better to that.
Boy, they really made it confusing. Sometimes
Oh my
these
God.
bills are just not written very well.
Yeah.
Well, then they're written at different
So-
times, and there's,
Different. Yeah, and it goes from the House to the Senate or vice versa.
So everything you get your hands on, you do.
So I guess my question I had like with Janet was, with this new amount going up, does that mean if we keep with the old figures, for example, say, and someone was getting the 2,000 and the 500, does that mean they can no longer get the 500 but only the 2,000?
Yes.
That's what I'm reading.
Yes.
That's what I'm kind of
No,
understanding.
that's what I said. I read it like 3 times, and then of course I took a week off
I
and
think
then
that's
forgot
what
everything.
the recommendation from
Right.
NHMA is.
If we want to give
Because
them,
that's going away.
right, then we, instead of doing 2,000, we do 2,500, because they will no longer be able to just get the,
That's
The 500.
independent of any other changes we might make.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So service-connected disabilities, optional, veterans of allied forces, 236, certain disabled veterans is,
Which one are you reading? I got it fortunately right now in front of me.
just seeing the ones that were replaced, and I have the list that
Oh, okay.
7236 is replaced, and then you have to look at 7236. Why is that replaced? Too many tabs open. Here we go. So the optional tax credit for service-connected permanent and total disability shall replace the tax credits pursuant to 4 other RSAs. So let's replace this 7228. That's funny because I'll get to that one after I do 7228. 7228 is the optional tax credit for, no, it'll replace the all veterans tax credit. It will replace the optional tax credit for combat service. It'll replace 235 service-connected total disabilities and certain disabled veterans. So that's why I was seeing it as whatever we vote for is going to be the number. It's not adding what we currently have to the new number. I will change the 500 to 2,000 or something like that, but it's not 2,000 plus 500.
Right. I just want to make sure I'm clear. So I have a sheet here. I think somebody said we did not adopt the surviving spouse. I have it listed that we.
Yeah, it uses
have
the
that.
word "or," and for me, that means surviving spouse does get it, but
Yeah, because I have just this sheet that was given to us at some point. Says tax exemptions and credits, Exeter, and it lists 3: veterans credit, 500; disabled veteran credit, 2,000; and then veteran credit, surviving spouse, in parentheses, 700.
yeah, so that,
So those are the 3 that Exeter. You.
Yeah, that's,
So those are 3 that we
The
have.
three, yeah, but-
Okay, all right. So because I heard
yeah,
something.
spouses are granted, after the veteran dies,
Mm-hmm.
then the spouse gets those benefits.
Okay. Oh, so that basically links up with the veteran credit for 500, if that veteran dies, the spouse gets 700? Is that other one? Because they both say veterans credit.
Yeah, but see, if you look at the MS1, it has nothing at all under the surviving spouse. Surviving spouse can actually get 700, but there's nothing at all. There's no
no one applied.
we have nothing. We have no money.
That's what I think.
Oh, okay, not that it doesn't exist, we just didn't know what
The
was
It exists.
taking
We don't
advantage
have
of.
anybody.
Okay, all right.
Chart from
Now
the
I
state, the amount is listed, but it's 0
Okay,
credits granted.
all right. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen, it's just currently. All right.
And I do not know what the criteria would be on that, other than being a surviving spouse. If it's
Well, the proof would have had to come from the veteran that asked for the, applied for the credit. And then, so that proof is there, and then they probably just have to show their marriage certificate to be the surviving spouse. It doesn't define a surviving spouse as somebody who's lived with a veteran for 20 years but not married them.
Which I kind of thought it was kind of odd, because when you had a disability, total disability, there's nothing that pertains to a spouse on that at all.
Yeah.
Well, you would think that would be probably I guess they never looked at that, quite honestly. Because the other thing too is it looks like the veteran gets 500, but the spouse gets 700, which I don't know what the criteria, how they figured that out, you know?
Where is it, where's that, where did you get the 700 number from?
No, it's off the MS1. On the limits would be 700 for the spouse. So, you know, you kind of wonder.
You have the RSA's up there.
Yeah.
It's 7229A.
So, yeah, that one's not, thank you. That one's not listed in what's been replaced.
So I guess there'd be quite a bit of minutia on what we're gonna do, but I guess the biggest question is, what do we think about the amounts
Yeah.
on the, 2,000 versus the 5,000 now that they could go up to? I guess that becomes the big question that we probably would have to discuss.
The difference between these, or surviving spouse, is the spouse of somebody who killed or died, was killed or died in active duty.
Oh, okay.
And the other surviving spouse is just from whatever tax credit we're giving to veterans in general.
Okay.
But that does have to be adopted. The killed in action one has to be adopted.
Okay.
So if we never adopted it, then it won't show up on the MS1.
According to this, we've adopted it.
We've adopted it according to this, if we just don't seem to have applied for it.
No one has, yeah.
Well, it's one of those hidden secret
Yeah,
RSAs.
let's not talk about
That's
it.
very
Really?
In the chart from DRA, if we hadn't adopted it, it would be a 0 for the amount of the credit, which is how all veterans shows up.
because we haven't adopted it.
Right.
So veterans tax credit, we have nothing to talk about, right? We give out quite a few. So surviving spouse, I don't think there's anything discussed there. Then we get down to the one, I'm going through the easy ones, just pick it through the list. And now we go tax credit for service-connected total disability. There's our 2,000, which if it passes the Senate, right? It would go.
No, it's been signed by the governor, I believe.
Oh, okay, so it's done. Oh, I thought you said something was in the Senate.
No, it's when a bill comes, from the House to the Senate.
Oh, okay.
Things can happen.
Yep.
And unless you track the bill, you may not know.
Okay, so,
The problem here is their definitions don't include all these different, optional, what type of veteran you are. Here's the definitions. Let's see if it's the thing.
oh yeah, there was that sheet. There's so many. I just can't even have enough pages open. Oh no, that's just, service for qualifying more.
Here's an interesting part of it, the term surviving spouse shall not include a surviving spouse that has remarried. But if the surviving spouse is later divorced, his or her status as the surviving spouse of a veteran is regained. It makes you wonder, like, what happened to somebody? You know?
Wow.
Back to the well.
That's from 2019.
Do we know when any of these have last been adjusted?
Once again,
When any of these credits were last adjusted?
Oh,
probably quite a while ago.
yeah.
But I think, you know, a lot of the towns, when you're looking, when I was reading the stuff that, on HB 99, it seems like a lot of the towns are still a lot lower. I almost think that this is the same thing that, to me, it was the same thing that we had with the exemptions, where Exeter was very proactive, and we put a lot of money up
Established it.
years ago.
Mhm.
And that we're just finally catching up to the rest, you know, the country, rest of the state seems to be catching up to where we're at.
Yeah.
And
Well, if we look at the surrounding towns, so
so,
SAU 16, we're the lowest. There's 3 towns that are at 500 for the standard, or the optional. And then there's 2 towns at 750 and 1 at 600.
how about, did you have to pick up anything on the disabled? Or do they have any information on that?
We're the highest there. Nope, sorry, there's one,
I think there's one or two higher.
Stratham is 4,000.
Yeah.
There's 2 at 1,400, 2 at 2,000, including Exeter, and 1 at 700.
It's so hard too, because you can't really compare, because you're talking about towns that don't provide the services that we provide, and that
Yeah.
don't have the tax rate that we have, which is
There's so many things.
really high, so we always have to keep that in mind. I was just playing around with numbers, so, and again, we gotta be careful never to base on, well, we have 36 people, but it could be 500, it could, you know, so it's just, but just throwing out those numbers, currently 36 people getting the total disability, you know, we have 71,000. If we went up to the maximum, it would go from 71,000 to 180,000.
And then the other thing I look at too is being something to really we have to watch. Is I didn't see anything like, for example, on exemptions, you can live in New Hampshire for 3 years.
Mhm.
I didn't see anything on this. So that was another question I had, you know, what's the stack? Can you move from Colorado to New Hampshire and automatically get it? You know, what are we opening ourselves up to? There's just a lot of things that I think that, you know, I really feel there should be longevity to a state or to a town before you can actually get this stuff. But on this, I didn't see anything, and you know,
No, that's for everything but.
Yeah.
You know, very friendly to veterans, so.
Yeah.
There's a residence requirement, but it's just New Hampshire, I think, and that's short. I think it's a year.
well, it's, on this, I don't even think there's anything.
I didn't see
I know on
just
the
in this
exemptions,
paperwork,
it's
but-
3. But on this, I just couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So that kind of looks at, you know, you first of all, you look at a town that has a no income tax, you know, if you can move into this town and not now have no taxes at all for, you know, we put up to 5,000 now with pulling someone's bills. I mean, someone could live quite well, and we could be a mecca for a lot of people coming in
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I think that's my big thing I look at. You know, I look at when I'm looking at this here. I think we could open up a Pandora's box.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And
Yeah.
we've always been, I mean, we have so many different groups that we support, and we do have to keep
Exactly.
in mind our tax rate's super high. So we're already doing 2,000. If 500's gonna go away, I mean, I obviously certainly recommend bumping it up to 2,500. This way nobody loses anything.
Well, the 500 isn't going to go away.
I thought that's what it said, this email.
No, there's still going to be. There's supposed to still be, because you still got a lot of people that aren't disabled. That's on the disabled, but then you get all these people that
That's what I'm talking about, the disabled veterans
right on the
credit.
disabled, but then you've got the 500 to still stay there for
It's just for
all the other
Veterans.
300, all the other veterans still.
Right, no,
Just disabled right now?
yeah, that's all I'm talking, focus
Okay.
on the disabled veteran credit, should we propose, increasing it, and then, now that I'm better able to wrap my brain around all this and get my head back in the game of where we were 2 months ago when we were talking, that, in order to keep them, if they're gonna lose the 500, you don't wanna be punishing someone who's, in that respect. So, I could see that just, at the very least, saying bump it to 2,500 and everything stays even. Do I see that there's a need for us to go higher than that? Personally, I don't, but that's just me. It's just my opinion. I'm on the budget committee as well, and so I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, I agree with you. I think right now, the big thing I look at is there's a lot of things for veterans, a lot more than just the town gives.
Yeah.
You look at everything that's out there, for example, you can go to a lot of the stores. I'm a contractor, I get 5% at Home Depot, Lowe's.
Yeah.
Veterans get 10%. And that's fine. I think they deserve something.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of veterans. But I think that they're getting that, they're getting a lot of different perks.
Yeah.
They're getting perks that we can't get, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, there's federal, there's private organizations, so, I agree, it's like, you have to look at that with all these organizations, like on the, I'm also on the Human Services Funding Committee, and it's like, well, these, they do so much, like, but we're not the only resource for them.
Exactly.
We're not there to prop them up or support them completely, we're there to, if they help us, then we throw a little in their kitty to help them. So, same thing with, a lot of the different, groups, that there are we're not the only resource, so.
And I look at like Franklin, the facility that's opening up at Franklin. Those are the facilities, that the veterans will be able to go into that they're for veterans only. Now, you're looking at everyone's trying to find affordable housing, but this is only for veterans.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are just for them, and I think that's good, and I think there are a lot of different associations that deal with that, and I think we start doing a disservice to the town once we get to the point we start bumping everything up.
It's good to see that over the last number of years that things have improved for veterans, so. Mark, do you have any thoughts that differ, or any other?
On that one, on that one, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Anyone like to make a motion to recommend the 2,500?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
What's the motion going to be? What's
The
your motion?
motion is to recommend increasing the tax credit for service-connected total disability to $2,500.
I'll second that for discussion. There's just one thing that I don't know if we should put into that. I don't know if that motion should actually say something that this would include the 500 and the 2,000.
Well, the laws-
Or does the law,
Yeah.
does the law take care of that?
The law does that, but we can certainly
We
put
can
that in the
explain
notes
that
to
over a
the,
session.
That's it,
Yeah.
because that part I just
In the
don't, I'm
select
not
board.
sure on. I think it does, but I'm not sure of it.
according to this, it does.
Okay, 72, 28, 28B and 28C and 36A
The memo from
cannot be added on.
Right.
New Hampshire Municipal Association
Yeah.
says that this optional tax credit for service-connected disability shall replace other tax veteran credits in its entirety and not be in addition to.
That's pretty
Okay,
clear.
so
That's a change, I think.
That pretty well clears it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'm happy then.
So I mean, that's pretty much, this recommendation is pretty much a wash.
Yeah, but without it, they would
It just moves
lose.
those people out of one category and
Right.
in the other category at a higher amount.
Right, so it's for them, it's a break even versus losing 500.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, so the other one that we have on our books is the surviving spouse. I assume no one has anything Does anybody have any discussion they want to have about that?
There's
We
no
don't
one,
have
no one's,
Yeah, well,
no one's using it, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure we need to adjust it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I'll make a motion then to leave the surviving spouse at 700.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm assuming this is a standard veterans tax credit, there's nothing to be done with that? $500 one?
It's actually the optional. Standard is 50.
Oh, okay.
The optional is when you adopt a higher amount.
So we have it at 500 then?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Standard, okay, standard and option, standard tax, okay, I get you.
So if the town did nothing, they would get $50.
They would get $50,
Yes.
okay,
And then
gotcha,
that's the enabling legislation that allows us to go to a higher amount.
okay. And I'm happy with leaving it 500. Not recommending any increase.
I think the big thing I look on that, I know a lot of people, see, I have no problem, especially when people have been in a skirmish, in an active war, and a lot of this, I don't know if you get this sheet from the Department of Revenue, and it tells you what wars they're, basically the criteria of,
Yeah.
and I think that's, you fight in a war, I think you deserve something.
Yeah.
But by the same token, it's so open that I know a lot of people, I know one guy, he was in for 6 months, got out, but he's getting a veteran's credit along with everything else. There's just a lot of people that go for it, and you can't blame them, it's there.
Oh, yeah, I would too
So-
if I had.
So I think for those type of reasons, I agree that I agree that leaving it the way it is, I'm happy with
It's
it.
$500,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not 50.
Well, it could be 10% of your tax bill. and
It's
not
a
bad.
$500 off. $10,000 tax bill is not the same as $500 off a $5,000 tax bill, which it was probably 15 years ago.
But I'm not aware of anybody, again, but I don't pay attention to all the meetings, but are veterans coming in saying that they're being forgotten about, or?
No, are you talking about the old veterans tax credit or?
Just in general, about just tax credits for, well, yes, yeah, definitely for that one, for sure, but I don't know if you,
Not that I'm aware of, but I don't know
Okay.
everything that happens, and I know that we, I don't think we've only once denied the veterans tax credit, and it was because they just didn't do the paperwork
yeah,
correctly.
I'm just saying in general. There are people banging down the doors saying that, Exeter really doesn't do anything for veterans where every other community is.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, then we don't need to open those doors. If no one's complaining, then I think leave it
I
alone.
think I would have heard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You always do. They don't come in to say thank you, do they?
I think if people were to be complaining, it's more likely to be the all veterans, which is,
Yeah.
we haven't adopted,
Right.
and most surrounding towns have.
Oh, well, your taxes are lower. Seriously.
Are you ready for a motion on
Yeah,
that? I'll make a motion that we keep the veterans tax credit at $500.
you have to second, because I
Second.
Any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Yay. So, what does that leave us?
Do we want to discuss this, all veterans?
You can.
I know that we have no way of really telling how much of the population has been described as a veteran or a disabled veteran or
Yep.
service-connected total disability. So it just is hanging out there, how much additional tax credits are we, I want to say give back, but it's really just comes off the bill. And I don't believe we've even estimated it. So,
I know that's been, since we started as a committee, that's been mentioned several times
Yep.
by Russ and also by Janet. And I looked at the numbers in the towns that have adopted it, both just locally here as well as just across the state. And the numbers are quite low compared to the optional tax credit.
And you'd expect them to be,
I would have expected more, based on our earlier discussion, I would have expected more parity. But, like just for example, Brentwood has 139 optional tax credit, 9 all veterans. East Kingston 117 and 24. Kensington 67 and 11. Newfields 44 and 20. Stratham 311 and 41.
What is I'm just having the hardest time figuring out what's the big difference between the all veterans and the standard and optional?
It's how you served.
Okay.
It's
it includes,
the
that's what I was telling.
list of conflicts that
Yeah, this is the list of conflicts.
Okay, I saw that.
And
you
I
had
think
to
that- I
serve
think
in
the
one of
biggest thing-
those
Yeah.
to qualify for the,
All veterans.
no, for the standard
Okay.
and the
Okay.
optional.
And I thought the all veterans is taking everything,
All veterans is anyone that served
service period.
for more than 90 days, I believe it is.
But this one says has served so this all veterans, I'm reading, this is why I get confused. So all for all veterans. Has served not less than 90 days on active service in the armed forces in any qualifying war or conflict. I'm like, well, that's what it says up above. So how's this different?
Does
It
this
says the
have,
same thing.
all right, do you know what RSA that is, or does it say?
Let's see, all veterans is 28. Oh no, wait a minute. That makes no sense. It says, oh, yeah, 7228. Oh, just B.
7228B.
B, I missed the B.
You
Yeah.
got that memorized, how'd you do
No, I
that?
have it sitting right
I was saying,
I was like, wow.
no, they did try to change it this year, but they didn't.
So that's where I'm not seeing the big difference, because if they both say you have to do.
The language is definitely confusing. I know I looked at it before.
And I mean, and I may be wrong, but my understanding is, for example, one of my old neighbors joined the service, went to Guam, went to another place after that, never was in a conflict.
Mhm.
And now he is the type of person that I thought could not get the $500, but I thought the all veterans, he would be able to get it if they had the all veterans. And I'm a little leery on that, and I really want to
I know, that's why it makes no
get some more
sense.
information on that.
This whole B
So-
thing, it says,
so I'm
in
just looking
any
it up.
qualifying war or conflict.
I'm just looking it up. 7228B 4. Number 4 has the qualifying. Says a person shall qualify for the all veteran tax credit if the person is resident of this state who is a veteran, that defined in another RSA, served not less than 90 days on active service in the armed forces, blah, 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 and continues to serve or was honorably discharged. And other people still serving.
Yeah, and there was that's what I was
But
telling
there's
you.
nothing in that paragraph about serving in
In a conflict,
a conflict.
right. So I think that opens it up to,
Oh, it says it on here, maybe this is a typo. No, it can't be, it's from the DRA. But I'm reading it, the B says,
I think it's.
served in the armed forces in any qualifying war or conflict.
Does it have a revision date on it?
No.
From B,
Oh, this is
28B?
old. Oh, revision 21.
22. It's
Last revised since
22.
22.
Okay, so this is out of date. That's why. All right,
Okay, it refers back.
that's
I think-
that's why it's not making any sense to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
And I know that when we had touched on this in some of our earlier meetings, Janet shared with us that people come in expecting to get this one because they're hearing from the people that help veterans. That
Yeah.
These are the resources you have. And
Okay.
Yeah, so this one too says that they can get whatever we adopt, whatever amount we adopt for the elevator's tax credit, but they can't add it to the, if they're not eligible or not receiving credit under 72.8, the original, the first veterans tax credit, they do not add them on.
So it's a one or the other?
And that's for the standard and optional tax credit, this one that it refers back to.
So just for discussion's sake, if the all veterans tax credit was adopted, what is the amounts?
500.
Not that I'm gonna support it.
It would be that, so 500.
Oh, it's the same?
It has to match the optional.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's just a different category of folks who would
Okay.
qualify.
It's one or the other.
Yes.
And right now, I know that there was something Janet was saying, they have to bring in proof that they were in a conflict on certain things, on certain ages, like World War I, World War II. If you were there, it was assumed that you were in a conflict. But once you get down to the Persian Gulf and Vietnam and all that, so it's a different,
Yeah.
there was a proof that you had to bring in. So
No, I just looked at it somewhere.
So I think now it's if you're in a conflict, you can get it. But I would hate to open it up, if that's the way it is, just to anyone, just because you serve, because you do get a lot of other things too.
No,
So,
I prefer not to. I wouldn't support opening it up anymore. Same reasons. So. Mark, what's your opinion?
I think the difficulty is knowing how many people it might apply to. The numbers don't support that it's a big number.
How many did you say was in Stroud?
$41.
Okay, I thought you
And
said
there's
300.
311, which is quite close to, we're at 465 that get the optional. There's 311 that get the optional in Stratum and only 41 of all veterans. And if you look, right now I'm just looking, I extracted just SAU 16, but I know when I looked at the state, the ones that have adopted it, the numbers are consistently lower, much lower.
And I know the numbers matter, but at the same time, in principle, it's not about how, well, it'd only be 5 people, but is it about that? Is it about?
Yeah, well, it's the budget impact too. So.
Well, yeah, the budget, definitely, yeah, so I said that, so that does, if it's gonna have a huge impact on the budget, but also, is it something that we feel like we should get behind in general? And I'm not behind it. I'm behind the standard tax credit, or standard and optional. And I think this one could just be left alone.
that's where I'm at as well. Right now, I just think that if someone is in the service for 90 days, gets out of the service, and now they can get for the rest of their life a tax credit, I really don't think that's right. I think it's unfair to the veterans.
That's going to be the outlier, though.
Yeah.
There are definitely people that
And
do
I think
that.
that
Yeah, there's always abuse in the system.
there always is. And I think your big thing, like you said, there's not many right now, but it's something fairly new. How many people know
Yeah,
about it?
it could change.
That can change overnight,
And would that impact be in the town 10 years from now?
I'll tell you, there was one of these RSAs, and now I'd have to look back at my notes from a previous term that added, I think it's honorably separated. So that I was telling Jerry, that's someone who went to basic training and either failed because they broke a leg or they just couldn't meet the standards, but they had served for those 90 days or 80 days or something, that they would qualify for tax credits. So that opened up another whole body of people. Well, I'm sure it's not a lot, but it's included.
That'd be embarrassing, getting tax credits when you're like, failed,
For failing.
you couldn't do the physical.
Oh, I know somebody that did that.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sure.
I know a lot of people like that, but, I'm just saying, let's say you served a year in Hawaii, and then you're out. I mean, how do you justify, other than wanting the money, that you really have earned that,
It's not what it's meant for, so, so again, I support not adopting.
I just don't want to get it to the point that we're giving up so much, we're going to take away from the other veterans who really deserve it.
Right, exactly, because if you give something to everybody, then it's less to everybody.
Right.
And you want to make sure that those resources are given, or more than focused on the people that truly have earned it and that truly need it.
And unlike the exemptions, this is real money. The exemption was artificial money.
Yeah.
When you start looking at how that works out, it's a play on taxes and all that
Right.
stuff going up. But this is actual
These are dollars.
cash, so I think we have to watch out with the actual cash.
I agree. All right. I don't think we need to vote on that, do we, or do we? Okay.
It's gonna be a recommendation to the select board, so
Okay.
we assign it.
All right, let's vote. One of you guys have to put it up, according to the rules of decorum for me being the chair.
Go right ahead.
I don't know if I'm going to make a motion.
I can do it, it's not illegal for me to do it. I'll do it. So, I'm gonna make a motion that the RSA 7228B, all veterans tax credit not be adopted by Exeter. Continue.
Well, you can basically, let's see. Yeah, because you're really not supposed to make a motion, but you can actually entertain. You can entertain that.
Okay, I entertain a motion that we continue as in the past, not adopt RSA 7228-B, all veterans tax credit.
So moved.
I'll second for discussion.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Well, you want to discuss it
Yeah,
first?
no, is there something you
Oh, I thought
wanted
we
to
did.
say?
Go ahead.
What do you have, Kyle?
I just think we're lagging behind most of the surrounding area. If you look at all of Rockingham County, there are 3 towns that don't have it.
I think it's too new, and it can always come. We can always come back, but once we have it, we have it.
We'll vote again next year.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it.
It's not that new.
Well, it's not that I've never even heard about it until, I've never even heard about that. before.
2022.
That was when it was last revised.
That's not that long ago.
It started in 2016.
16, yeah.
Still fairly new in the grand scheme of things, as our societies and communities change, I mean. But I like to also look at the big picture, and there's nowhere in the big picture that says Exeter's not taking care of their residents.
Mm.
And that
The easier
means
thing
all
would
of
have
them.
been if the legislature just replaced the existing one, but not changed the criteria,
Yeah, amend this,
then
amend
pushing it
that.
down to us, right?
Right, and
Julie.
it's really hard not to vote for these veterans
Oh.
bills, so.
Oh, I know, because it makes you look like a,
I know, but at some point it gets too large, as you said, there's just, and then it's too confusing because they each reference another RSA or the same reference the same RSA, and that's where we got confused over, is this additive or is it either or, the optional or the standard, and this new one is saying none of those are additional, it's just the 2,500.
Yeah.
I also think that in the last 30, 40 years, the types of conflicts have changed,
Yes.
and they're not as well defined as they were.
Yeah.
The pilots that flew 24 hours to the attack on Iran, were they in a conflict? By this definition, they wouldn't be.
No, it would be, because there would be a conflict, either way. It doesn't matter if you're sitting, operating a drone from your home, sending something over, it's still,
But that's,
that's still a
it wouldn't be,
conflict.
that would not be on that list of conflicts.
But there's
But they're saying all conflicts, though.
would they have earned an expeditionary medal
What?
I would think they would have.
or theater of operations service medal? Because the last one they defined as the Persian Gulf War in 1990. And then it says that any other war or armed service or armed conflict that occurred since May 8, 1975, and in which the resident earned an armed forces expeditionary medal or theater of operations service medal.
Whatever that is.
Okay, that covers that.
So I think the people that basically are actively doing that, I'm just looking for the other people that aren't actively there and
Yeah.
then they're out. And my big thing is, if I
Manning a
ever have,
booth at a the barracks or whatever, in Hawaii.
and I just think if you ever have a doubt, sometimes it's better to wait.
Yeah.
And to me, I have doubt, so that's why myself personally, I would just, if I have to wait a year,
And we have
2 years,
others.
it's one thing.
The other thing I would suggest is that if we're gonna bring this forward to town meeting next March, these recommendations, we're probably not gonna do anything to do with the veterans again for a while. Because we can, but
Since we'll be talking about credits, I wonder if somebody's going to come forward at that deliberative session and say, "Hey, what about this one?" And we just have to be prepared for the answer. We're starting here, before we go there, and then maybe that'll start.
I like the clarification that you just came up with there for the,
Wish my mom had done the surviving spouse thing. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, I go back to couple months ago, when we were talking about this, and when Russ was here, he happened to agree on that one thing. We have to watch what we're gonna put on the warrant. We get too many things that overwhelms people, and everyone says no to everything.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
it's better to have one or two things on the warrant, and we already have.
Yeah.
We will probably already have one or two.
Yeah.
And, how many more do we want to confuse the people with right now?
Yeah.
So,
Well, at least the double down default budget bill was vetoed.
Wait, say that again?
We won't even go into that one. I'll tell you at the end.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to cost a lot more money, or make it impossible to figure out what the default budget.
oh yeah, it's gonna be horrible this year.
Every year, it's like, every year I'm on the budget committee, they go, this is gonna be a really tough year. And then the next year, this is gonna be really tough. Like, every year it's gonna be the worst year ever. And it's like, oh my God, how much worse can it get?
Yeah, but this year, you're looking at reality of anything that's going on in the budget, even with you being on the budget committee, you've got something you've never dealt with in your life. And that's something that was in the past that we were gonna get that's being taken away. And that money that's being taken away, where do you get it? And yes, we've got to do it, but how do you figure that in with all the things you want to do? It's going to be a rough budget. I think it's going to be a rough budget year, so
Oh, yeah.
I think we got to kind of watch what we put in.
Yeah, so it's better to be conservative. It's a no for now, right?
No, for now, for me,
For me, and you can vote against it, that's no problem. All right, so, are we ready to vote? Okay, I'll vote, those in
Aye.
favor, aye.
Aye.
All in favor, okay. Okay. Trust me, I get this, of being in the funding committee of human services, it's like, it's great, they're all good. You can't just say no or deny an increase or something. And I got raked over the coals for that this year, and I'm like, everybody was funded, just because we didn't fund some as much as they asked for.
Oh, what now,
The human services funding.
yeah,
And I'm like, well, we didn't fund them for as much as they asked for because they couldn't justify it and the numbers didn't pan out. So we gave them something that made sense according to what the information we had. And just because someone asked for 10,000 doesn't mean you have to give them 10,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, It didn't make me look like a good person saying no to charities.
It's tough.
Yeah, that was the asshole.
Yeah,
For sure.
at the county budget level,
Mm.
there was the same kind of thing where a charity had come in and asked at the last minute before the executive committee for an additional $3,000, which is what they used to get every year.
Mhm.
But that group had proven that they had tried to email the document and it got sent back, or the address was wrong, and they faxed it, and so they had done their work.
Yeah, their due diligence.
So we did approve that raise, but the second one that came in hadn't done any of the paperwork.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have things you need to meet. So okay, so.
What's
Under legislative stuff, what do you
Yeah.
want to know about?
whatever you think we
Tell us all about
should
it.
hear about?
Tell us all about House Bill 99.
You can't add things together, that's all I know.
No, what is going on? I just don't know what is going on, that's gonna affect
Yeah.
money that we want to give out to individuals who deserve it.
Well, I'm gonna look up, there were a couple elderly exemption ones that were, the one that shows up here didn't go through the House, or wasn't passed out of the House, so it didn't go any further than there. I don't think there were any others this year. It was all about just being not very nice to people in general.
Julie. That's like a done.
Well, the one thing is if you know somebody on Medicaid, they're gonna have to pay a premium now. So we don't have an income tax, right?
Right.
But, it's not a tax, it's a premium.
I know we pay, it's fees and,
Yeah.
we have fees.
But
Lots of
it's
fees.
folks on Medicaid, and depending on the size of the family, depends on how much they have to basically return. So they're not getting what they apply for. And, that if they had that extra money, like in some instances, it might just be $200. But if they had that $200, then maybe they didn't have to work an hour or 4 hours.
Right.
And there is a work requirement of 100 hours, either actual working or for an approved nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where the list of nonprofits is. But the federal government just passed theirs, and they only require 80 hours. So,
That's the difference.
yeah. So,
80 hours over the course of a year? Or a month? Or
Yeah.
a month? I mean, as long as you're not disabled, I mean.
And that was it too, is that, if you're capable and
Right.
I don't remember what it said about folks who need to take care of someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, or you're caring for an elderly person who's like in a wheelchair, or you have three kids under the age of 5, you can't even afford to go to work,
So there's that one. The other one that was vetoed today, which is great, was what I was calling the double down default budget. And it was very complex, and it involved, the default budget is the same as last year's budget, with certain things either added or subtracted based on what the voters approved last year. It's mostly bond articles and any contracts that we know were going to be like 5-year contracts. This bill went ahead and said if a position's been empty for more since the last budget was adopted, then those positions will be considered
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, yeah. If you haven't been able to fill them.
Just because you can't fill
That's
it.
good, that's a good thing to have. We carry a lot of things.
Yes and no.
Well, I think of all the empty positions we have around here, it's not because they don't need them, it's just we can't find anybody.
Can't pay for them, that's what it is.
That's
The competitive wage.
Oh, yeah.
Especially during COVID,
Yeah.
people were able to find jobs in the private sector that of course pay more and although we have pretty good benefits, but might have different benefits. So we have the empty spaces and people aren't applying for them because
Yeah.
they don't want public service anymore, or they don't want to do that. So we have trouble and we need to carry them because we need to carry the empty spots because we need to fill them.
Yeah.
At what point do you give up?
Yeah.
This was trying to tell us at what point you gave up, and they made it very short time.
Yeah.
And so that would be subtracted from the proposed budget. And so, and you know, who wouldn't
I
vote
see.
for
Lower
a dramatically lower default budget?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you know, it goes on, then the next year, that makes the proposed budget bigger.
Yep.
And so, you know, people will vote for that, and it's basically a tax cap kind of
But the
thing.
governor vetoed that, right?
Yeah, the governor vetoed it. It would have been our
Will it survive the veto?
There's not a veto-proof majority.
One
Will
thing-
survive the veto.
Yeah.
One
The veto will
The veto will be
survive.
sustained, yeah.
Okay. I know he said no, but I'm like, oh, because you said we'll survive the veto, and you went no.
I was thinking how people would vote, yeah. So yes, the veto will stand, I believe.
One thing I've got a question on, that facility that's open up in Franklin, does the state have anything to do with that, or is that all like an outside agency? And if the state does have something, do they have more things planned similar to that in the state?
Describe it to me more in full.
That's the, I think it's,
Franklin Veterans Home,
yeah, it's a,
retirement nursing home for veterans.
it's not a nursing home, it's
Yes.
basically a home for the families too, it's not just for them.
Oh, okay.
It's for the whole family, and it looked kind of nice. There's a lot involvement. They have equestrian rings and a hotel, and it's like a whole complex. And I think I can't remember how many units that are there, but they're looking, it's more like a handout for the veterans. And it's the first one in the state, and I'm kind of wondering if they had planned on other facilities similar to that.
Where is that being built? Where is it?
Franklin?
That's been in the works for a long time, I believe.
But I was just wondering if the funding, I thought it was through, I didn't know if the state was involved as well as other nonprofits, or if it was totally nonprofit, or if it's tax credits that's doing it, or,
I'll tell you, the state paying for things is not a popular thing up there this past year. Meaning, in a partisan fashion, there are things that the state wants to push down onto the local jurisdictions for a change. And in anticipation of passing the video terminals, anyway, slot machines.
Yeah.
They're counting on a lot of revenue from slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we're gonna have one on every corner now,
you have to have a charitable casino.
Yeah. You won't be able to get them everywhere, but. Yep, I was like, that explains why I'm such a nitwit. Every time I drive by the Seabrook, the brook, and I think, wow, there's cars here all day now. It wasn't like that before. And now that parking lot, the cars is pouring in every day.
There's always a charity there, yeah. And they get.
Well, yeah, the charity day, because you have to be affiliated with the charity every day, but the fact that they're getting so many people coming in every day, it didn't even dawn on me it's from that. It's from because I hadn't been in forever, but when we decided, like, oh, let's go place a bet for the Kentucky Derby. And I went in there, I'm like, holy crap. It was, granted, it was Kentucky Derby Day, but there were all these people that came to the Derby all sitting at those little slot machines.
Yeah,
And I was like,
and then they
that's why
also
they're so
raised
busy.
the minimum wager. You can put anything up to 2,500, I think, down. And then the maximum, they took away the maximum wager. wage or
Oh, it used to be like $4 or something like that. I only know some of this stuff because, being with a nonprofit, we're hooked up with Hampton Ocean Gaming, and which provides us, and the money we get every year goes out, and we use it for scholarships for kids for college.
Yeah, there can be, I know some charity that made $30,000 on one night.
Yeah, that's at the Brook. That's not where we are. If we get like $6-7 grand a year, that's good. But yeah, we want to get it at the Brook. That's, I haven't figured out who I have to sleep with, but when I do. Oh wait, they have to be receptive. Just kidding.
I'll find out what that is, Jerry. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I think it's a great idea, but I was just wondering, because they didn't really say where all the money was coming from.
Well, it might be some federal money, but who knows if that's going to continue.
Yeah. The key is to have
And
a
that's
lot of
also-
legs on that chair. Yeah, not just count on funding from one or two or like that. As long as I've even thought about that. Right?
So is that about it on the update from Concord? Nothing else going on crazy up there that's going to affect us at all here?
Let's see. I did a 19-page summary of the
No, that's
budget.
okay.
It'll be on the, it should be on the select board meeting from last night, but which session date is this? What I have is the bills that went through both House and Senate, but one or the other had made amendments. And that's the last day that we do, and that's where we get the crazy Christmas tree bills where somebody says, hey, this is a cool idea, let's,
I mean, with us, as far as with exemption, there's nothing else on the table. The one,
no, I
the
don't,
one for the 75, no income verification, nothing.
no, those all failed.
That's failed, okay.
There have been some crazy ones for not paying education taxes and, if I'm 55 and my kids are no longer in school, then I shouldn't have to pay school taxes, so that's from a few years ago.
That'd be a problem for New Hampshire.
Like it is now.
All right, so the Franklin says, are you run by the VA? He says, no, we are a state-owned facility. But this says established in 1890. But this is
home?
way up. The Veterans Home. New Hampshire Veterans Home. I didn't know it offered all of that.
Yeah, because I don't even think they're gonna have it totally complete until next year. People are starting to move in now, but
Yeah, so again, obviously this has like been around forever, but now it's bigger.
Well, I'll say that the veterans were kind of neglected for quite a while.
Yeah, now they're friendly.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure it's just talking about one piece of it, but it says, state agency, most of our operating expenses are paid for by the state of New Hampshire. We do partner with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in certain areas in order to leverage resources to provide veterans personal care. Anyway, let's go home, everybody.
Okay.
Can I make a motion? Or entertain a motion to end this meeting?
I move to adjourn.
so moves.
Second.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.